I'm really so excited. Yeah, really excited. Yeah, before I could share my life story, I want to say something about Cynthia and about women in general. I don't know, somebody say that uh, behind a strong man is a strong woman, but for me it is other way around. Behind a strong woman is a strong man. So Cynthia has been exceptionally inspiring to my work. And throughout my life, there are so many wonderful women that has been supporting me. And one of my good friends, why I'm here in New Jersey, is Sharon Skinsman. She lives in Englewood, and like Cynthia, she went to the same college. And last 2 years ago, I spoke in college, and she was there. And at the end of my presentation, she was really sobbing. My story sing deep and touch a soul. And from that day, I call her a Cynthia of New Jersey because she basically did the same thing, bringing me to local schools here, and that was really wonderful. But I would like to start my presentation by telling you that when I was 10 years old, my mom and my dad told me that I could move Mountain Kilimanjaro. Do you all know Mountain Kilimanjaro? So, and like many children, I asked, how could I move Mountain Kilimanjaro? Because I didn't believe anybody can move Mountain Kilimanjaro or any mountain. And they told me it is only possible with hope and positive attitude. But like any other children, I thought my parents were really crazy by telling me that I could move Mountain Kilimanjaro. I did not know that they at that time that they were teaching me the importance of, 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 uh, of positive attitude, the importance of having, not giving up hope in life. And they were teaching me about my own potentials. And when I put my mind into something, that there's nothing that I could not achieve. But all of us, we all face challenges in life and hardship. And later on in my life, I was able to learn the importance of my parents' lesson. So I'm here today to share with you my parents' important message to all of us. And I grew up in southern Sudan. Do you know southern Sudan is the newest country in Africa after over 50-something of war, fighting over freedoms. Southern Sudan was able to be independent in 2001. But I was a happy child before Civil War, and I was doing what any other child could dream of. I used to play with my siblings, I used to play with my parents, and in my family, especially I grew up in a Dinka tribe, whereby cows are so important. So at the age of 10, my family trusted me to be in charge of their cows, meaning my job was to look after my family cows. So every morning, I would go to a grazing field, and then in the afternoon, I would come back. We did not have many material things. We did not have electricity. There was no running water. But I was so blessed with caring and loving parents. My mom and my dad taught me to always be respectful and kind to others, and always be content with what I have, uh, with what I have, no matter how small it was. And they taught me to work hard, never give up, no matter what life throws at me. My life changed forever in 1987 when North Sudan militiamen attacked my village. I was out in the field tending up to my parent cattle. And at about 3 p.m., I heard the sound of a gun. So I was surprised. I got up from where I was, and I saw militiamen carrying guns. So I dug down and covered myself with the grass so that the militiamen could not kill me. After a couple of minutes, I saw them taking my cows toward northern Sudan. And after they were out of sight, I got up and I ran home. Before I ran home, I saw huge smoke coming out of the village. Because I love my parents, I started to run back to the village to be with them and to see if they were okay. Along the way, people tried to stop me, telling me that it was too dangerous to go to the village. Even one brave man grabbed hold of me, picked me up, and put me on his back, and he ran in opposite direction. That man was shot dead. I immediately fell off his shoulder. The bullets narrowly missed me on either side as I tried to roll. I survived by pretending that I was a dead child. I closed my eyes, I held my breath, pretending that I had been killed. After that, the militiamen left. I ran back into the village, and it was all burned down. My parents were not home. Nobody was there. I saw dead bodies. Houses were collapsing around me, and that is when my journey as a lost boy began. I ran for 4 months. I was not with my family, but a stranger whom I met on the way. They were escaping the same violence. I had no shoes. I often had no food and water. I grew very thin. I was so emaciated. I was so weak. We ran for 2 months and we came on Nile. And at that point, the journey was really tough. It was taking toll on me. And I decided to give up. But I was able to imagine at that particular time, had I had an opportunity to tell my parents what I was going through, what would they have told me? And what I discovered was that my parents would tell me this was the mountain, that they were not teaching me about Mountain Kilimanjaro, but they were warning me and molding me into a hard, more resilient boy or son that could be ready to take on any problems in life. After 4 months, I arrived in a refugee camp. I had walked 1,500 miles. It would be equivalent here walking from New Jersey to Florida and make sure that there's no McDonald's, Burger King, or road on the way. But I still believe with the mindset and the right attitude and with hope, people of New Jersey and people of this college could walk to Florida with limited food and with no water on the way. And as my parents used to say, that we all have problems. And New Jersey, last November, we have witnessed the devastation by Hurricane Sandy. But New Jersey is resilient, and it is the same concept that when you have a positive mindset, it will give you the resiliency to overcome what you were going through. So after arriving in the camp, my life did not really improve. Though there was little food, life was very hard. Life was really, really, really very hard. And in the camp, I was very lonely. I was so homesick. My family was there. I left. I live in isolation. And sometimes I go to a dark corner at night or during the day and cry for nothing, wishing that my parents could be with me to comfort me and help me overcome the obstacles that I was going through. In addition, along the way, I was bitten by a snake on my right leg. And the snake bite, after a couple months in the camp without treatment, took toll on me. I was paralyzed, and as the snake bite was taking toll on me, I became hopeless. I became angry. I was so bitter about life. I was so disillusioned, and I didn't see any purpose for me to be alive. But I had a dream. In my dream, my parents appeared, and they talked to me as if we were in the village. My dad scolded me, telling me that, Gabriel, this is the mountain that you could overcome. My mom scolded me, telling me that because I was so negative, I was so consumed by negativity, so there was no room for me to think clearly and see the end and see the light. She told me, my son, I believe in you, and you can move this mountain. at the end of the dream, they talked to me about what now I call the 10 and the 90% rule. And in the dream, they reminded me that what I was going through was a part of the 90% that I control. And if I can work hard, if I could have positive attitude, then they believe I could move the mountain I was going through. And the mountains were the snake bite, limited food, and hardship in the refugee camp. They told me that you don't control 10% of your life. And what I was going through was something that I control. And in the dream, they told me they love me more than I will ever know, but they challenged me to move Mountain Kilimanjaro that I was going through. They kissed me goodbye, and at the end of the dream, I fell off the bed, and I was so disappointed. But that dream changed my life. And I understood that I need a little hope, I need a little effort, I need a little positive attitude in order to move the mountain in all the conditions that I was going through in the refugee camp. I had an opportunity to come to the United States in 2001, and with many blessings from wonderful women and American people have been supporting me. And with my hard work, I was able to graduate from Lemoyne College with bachelor's degree in philosophy and mathematics education, and a master's degree in math education. And even though I had such success, I was hunted by questions about my own family. The war had continued in southern Sudan, and I was not able to go back to see what had become of my family. Luckily, in 2005, a peace agreement was signed, and I waited for 2 years until 2007, when I decided to go back. And my first mission was to go and really find out what had become of my family. Did anyone of my family survive? Were my parents killed? Were my 8 siblings were killed? So these were the questions that were hunting me, and at that point I felt as if I was an incomplete human being, because I believe you are complete when you know the history of your family and when you can account and tell others about, and tell others proudly about your family. And those questions took me back, because I went to be a complete human being. I went to answer this question about my own family. When I returned, the whole village, especially my 2 brothers who survived, thought I was dead 20 years ago, and they didn't know that I would one day come back. So they threw me a huge celebration to welcome me, whom they believe was dead 20 years ago. And I was really, one thing I saw in the eyes and faces of women and kids, and even my relatives, is really the resiliency. I thought, why should they celebrate for me when they themselves had also overcome more than I could have imagined in my own life? Sadly, I discovered that my mom and my dad did not survive. They died during the war. I was so struck by the state of suffering I witnessed in the village, in Ariang village and throughout southern Sudan. There were no crops. I went to some houses of my relatives. There was no food there. So their life was really tough. Cholera was killing people. Hunger was killing people. And I was really so devastated. And after I came back, I returned to the United States. I could not sleep for a long time. I was so heartbroken, having seen such inhumane suffering that no any human being could ever suffer the way the people of southern Sudan, the marginalized people of Darfur, the marginalized people of Nuba Mountain and southern Blue Nile had been suffering. But I began to ask myself a question. Do I have human obligation to try to help kids in the village and help in mitigating their sufferings? After a long time of looking for answer, I was able to talk to my parents to imagine, would my parents would they accept me to take them in the village and bring them back to the United States to enjoy life, or would they have challenged me? But I believe my parents would have said no, because they always taught me that my human worth as a human being is not measured by how much material wealth I have or how much I enjoy life, but my human worth, my human worth is measured by how much I give back and how my attitude and action affects other human beings. So we start building the school. This was the school under the tree, and the people in the village, as Cynthia has indicated in her presentation, were able to make the bricks. We build the schools, and we stop cholera by drilling the wells. We bring the girls to the schools by drilling the wells, because as you all know, young girls in Sudan and in Africa don't have the luxuries of coming to school because water is not home. So we drill the wells to bring the girls to schools. And what we have done is really like a miracle. Every year since 2005, before the wells were drilled, about 60 people who died of cholera every year. But now, no single person has died. We have built a school for 500 kids, including 500 girls. I want to leave you with this picture. And in this picture, you can see a little girl. She's on her way to school. And I met her, I asked her, what gave her the energy, what gave her the motivation to walk to school with her crutches. She pointed to a little bit to the bag that she has, and she told me, so when I look at the bag, I saw a cover of Time magazine. And the cover of Time would say the most powerful woman in the world. She said she went to be one of the most powerful women in the world, and she went to make a difference. And this really inspired me every day. And when I see her, I see the dreams of every girl in Africa, that if they are afforded opportunity, they could become the most powerful people in the world. They could become to make our world a better place. So I hope you have taken something away from my story, and I hope that when we give a little effort, when we don't give up, I hope you can also be able to overcome some of your mountains in your life. Thank you so much.